What's up, guys? This is a request for help from somebody that watches me on YouTube. This one's tough. This one I've been looking at for a couple of days. Meant to do something with this over the weekend. I got busy and then I looked at it and okay, this one's challenging, and then I got busy. So here I am, finally. Really been studying this one hard, trying to figure out fill to satin. That's not going to work. So the next best thing is we draw it out. One of the problems is the sender asked me to do this as a satin stitch. Depending on the size of your piece, okay, yeah, maybe, but only if it's really small. What do we have in inches? Right now we're only at, oh my goodness, we're only at a little over 1 inch. Really? I'm gonna get my measuring stick. That right there is 1.8 mil. That'll satin. This one right here is 9.5 mils. This is way too wide for a satin column. But Ink Stitch has tools to accommodate that by putting stitches in between. So I'll show you all that. I think, even though this is really small, I think it'll accommodate a satin stitch design. Problem is, if you can't run this way by itself, because you won't be able to get these nubs. And again, you can't run your satin stitch this way because of this and this. So here's what I'm going to do. Don't know if this is going to work for sure, but I think it's a good idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in, and right about here, I'm going to start here, come down, go around, come down, go around. I'm just going to keep doing that until I get to the bottom. And then I'm going to make another one on the other side. Let's be a little closer than that. So somewhere right about here. We're going to run straight down. Now, I'm going to put in some rungs, and I said it right that time. It's a work in progress. We'll do a couple of rungs, and then I'm going to take the nodes tool, and then I'm going to go in here and fix these nodes. Put that there, grab this arm and drag it out. Put that there, drag this arm, pull it out. Come on down, do it again. And again. And one more time. And again, I don't know if it's going to work, but it's working in my head. So we'll see how it goes. Now, I'm going to grab all of those. Let me go to a picker, grab all of them, Control K, and bring up params, do a params, and do a custom satin column. There's my little dip, there's my little dip again, okay. Now, provided the other side is the same design, we should be able to duplicate this. So dupe, flip, spinneroonie. Yep, it's pretty close. Give it a little bit of, it's pretty close. We'll go in here and we'll hit the nodes tool, and then we'll go in here and we'll drag it out a little bit better. Okay, that's pretty close. So something such as that will work pretty good. Okay, so now we have, basically we're putting a cap on the end. Basically. Let's go back to params. So we have a nice satin column. Alrighty. Now, this is where it gets interesting because we're going to draw from here to here and then down. And we're basically kind of going to do the same thing all over again. Across here. And then we'll go in there and clean it up as needed. Yeah, all the way across. Make that one all the way across. I did. Okay. Take the nodes tool and we'll go in here and clean this up a bit. Yep, that one's good. We'll drag that one down. Drag it down. That one's got to move a little bit. All right. And then there. There. And that needs to come over a hair. Down a hair. And pull. And pull. Bring it down a hair. And that looks good. So we'll go from there and then there. And we'll grab that node and we'll do a little bit more spinner. And spinner. And we're good. So there's that one. Rail. And then we'll go in here and this one's pretty easy. We're just going to grab right here. Here and here. Hit enter. Nodes tool. Should be pretty good. We're pretty good right there on the edge. And I'm actually going to back that off just a hair. We're going to bring this up. We grab that nodes tool and grab that top one. I'm going to pull it back just a little bit. Want a little bit of that underneath satin stitch to show through, I think. And then grab this one. Grab this one. Why can't I grab that? There we go. And we'll do it like that. Pull that back just a little bit, just like we did on the other side. And then pull that one back again like the other side. All right. So the only thing left on this one is to add some rungs. Ooh, I'm getting good with those name callings. Grab some rungs. Hold on, buddy. And rung. All right, so I think I'm ready to connect. That should be the first one, second one, and that's the one we're working on. Control K. Go to params. And satin column. Zoom. It looks really, really good. Oh, it looks really good. Now, let's see what they look like as a cohesive unit. This is going to be a little more interesting. That, and we go 3, and let's go straight to sim, shall we? Oh, I lost my gallery. Okay. Let's go straight to a sim. That side, and then something in between. Maybe. That's not bad. I think we can work with that. Probably need to bring the density down on that quite a bit because it's so big. But I think we're at a pretty good start. And then next thing we need to do is just pick something else. I'm going to just draw a line like that. I'm going to duplicate that line and flip it and drag it down. We'll have to adjust. All right. This one is identical sides, so we don't need to draw rungs. I said it right again. Working on it. Promise. And then what I need, params, satin column, custom satin column. Apply and quit. This one might be just right for a dupe. Drag. Yep, it's definitely a little bit different, so we'll have to adjust and adjust. All right. That one's already a satin, so we don't have to do anything there. And then what I'm going to do from there is draw from here up. Cross right over the top of that. Go to there. Jump down. Since it's in direct line with the other, we should be good. Now, what do we do? Go all the way out. We'll go out roughly about halfway. I might have to make it a little bit more than that. And then let's duplicate that, swap it over. It should be pretty darn close. Close, but we'll make it work. I got down, drag that one down, fix that one, fix that one. Okay, not bad, not bad. And then grab both of those. Should be close enough that we don't need rungs. Do a combine, Control K for combine, satin column, custom satin column. Maybe the drop off isn't really very good, is it? Let's make that a little tighter and see if it's better. It's better. Hit apply and quit. This is gonna be tricky because as long as I'm pretty sure that lines up with the bottom of the circle, so I think it's gonna work. And then, all right, we have a bottom here, so we need to do. What are we looking to do? Oh, okay, I know what we'll do. We'll start here and come down to here, go straight out, grab that a couple times and hit there. And then we'll go into our nodes tool. We'll pull that out a little bit, push that in a little bit. Everything else is pretty good. And then we'll go from this side over here to there, there and out. Grab our nodes tool. Let's give it a little bit of a curve. I don't know if it's going to matter in the long run. Probably not. Little curve there. I don't think these are going to be like enough. Pretty close. Pretty close. Let's try it. All right. Dupe, params, and satin column. Yeah, it's not bad. Let's tighten that one up a little bit too. I'm afraid 0.4 is going to be too much because it is a pretty small piece. Over these bits are small, and then I wonder if that's enough. Like it should be enough. Like the other side. Dupe, spin a rooney, and yank it over. Yep, pretty close. We'll adjust it as accordingly. Okay, I think I can deal with that. Now, that one's already a satin stitch because we duplicated the other one. Hit apply and quit. And then all we need to do is figure out what we're going to do there. I think that'll work. So what we're going to do is go from here up, go around, go right from there up. I believe this will work. Hit enter. Let's go do some adjustments. Bring that down, make it a little bit tighter. We want that to cross, I think. All right. make the other one. And we're going to go from here. We're going to guess. We're just going to make a educated guess. I want to be low enough to get across the top of that other one. That one's just going to, we're just going to have to see how it goes and adjust from there. Other than that, it looks pretty good. Alrighty. Let's grab the nodes tool. Yep, I like it. I like it. And that one's good. And that one's good. We need that to be curved similar. Curve similar. Curve. Curve. All right, let's now set some rungs. Ooh, I'm getting good at this wording thing. Getting too confident what it is. Oops. All right, setting rungs, going across. Pretty basic. And let's put one there. That should make the turn. Now let's select all of those. I don't know how far to go. Okay, should be, yes. That one right there. So everything from there up. Control K for combine, hit params. And then satin column, custom satin column. That's to be expected. That little jump is a little weird for a satin column, but I think that'll be all right. So hit apply and quit. We are done and ready to see the whole thing in action. Check out the whole thing. We're going to do a sim. Oh, okay. See, right here, the peak of this didn't cover that. So wonder if we can pull it down a little bit, maybe. Maybe. It does look a little high now that I look at it. Pull it down a little bit and then straighten out the edges so it's not weird looking. Make it curve a little more gentle. Let's go ahead and try it again. Select everything is selected. Let's go back to sim. Go into simulator, check it out again. Okay, that's much better. That's much better. Oh yeah, I believe that's good. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is everything's already selected, right? So everything's selected already. The next thing I want to do is auto route. Auto route satin columns. Trim jump stitches, no. Preserve orders, no. Don't care. Keep original path, don't care. Hit apply. Hit close. And then we should have a new layer. We do. Let's check that out in a sim. Oops. Yeah, it's the original piece is actually, yeah, it's actually an SVG, so it just did a fill stitch, which would have been a whole lot easier to begin with, but the request was satin. My recommendation is it might be fine to do it as a fill stitch, but if you need to make it a little bit bigger, it's probably fine as a fill stitch. But yeah, that was funny. All right, so I'm hiding that that image, and then we'll go back to sim. Not bad. And when you actually stitch this out, I'm going to send this back to you. When you actually stitch this out, it may need some adjusting. 100%. I'm going to send you the SVG. Convert the SVG into whatever you need, PES, DST, whatever. But make sure if you re-edit and edit and edit, you're only ever editing on the SVG and then re-saving as whatever you need to stitch by. All right, so that is that. Now, I'm going to show you real quick. First, I'm going to show you real quick is if you select everything, if you push shift and then yellow, kind of a super bright yellow. Let's go with more of a, okay, that's a little, okay. Somewhere in there's a lot closer. If you want to see what it looks like with a similar color to what we just did. And then we're going to do extensions. Let's see. I can hardly ever remember what that's called. Visualize and export and stitch plan preview. All right. Design layer visibility unchanged. Move stitch plan beside the canvas. Hit apply. Hit close. So this is the simulated preview of what it theoretically should look like once it's stitched. So it's certainly not bad. It's actually not bad at all. Can handle that. But, you know, of course, real stitching will certainly tell the tale. And when you do a real stitching on it, be sure and send it to me because I'd like to see the results. This is an interesting piece. Now, we mentioned earlier that these satin stitches are way too wide. This one probably is as well. That's almost 7 mil. And then we already talked about this being 9.5. So way too wide. So on those particular pieces, I'm going to select that one by itself. And then we're going to go to params. Go to params. All right, once you're in params, we're going to scroll all the way down. And then we get all the way to the bottom. Right here towards the top is maximum stitch length. That's what you're looking for. Split method. Default, I think it's on default, but we're going to switch that to staggered. I'm not sure what default is. And then maximum stitch length. Let's go with 4. And then let's make display needle penetration points. So with split method set, we want to go in there and look at a more of a real sim type. Let's go ahead and apply and quit. Now I'm still going to just select that. Let's go to extensions, ink stitch, visualize, stitch plan preview. And I do want to render needle points. Let's hit apply and quit. Hit close. So that does look pretty good. I want to show you an example of what we're trying to achieve here. I go back into params and we do the instead of staggered, we do simple. You can really see each needle point's almost exactly the same spot. If I hit apply and quit, and then we go back into that same realistic preview, hit apply, hit close, when you stitch this out, there's a significant line running down through there. And that, that could be a design option. Sometimes that might be a good design to do that, depending on what you're doing. But in this case, I don't want that. So we're going to get rid of that. We're going to go back into params. We're going to go back to staggered and apply and quit. So it definitely looks better that way. I'm going to do the same thing on this one. And go back into params. We'll do a maximum stitch length. It's already cutting it down some. We'll scroll all the way down. Maximum stitch length is right here. I'm going to set 4, about the same on it. You can see how that looks. And then we're going to go to split method. We're going to do staggered again. So that definitely makes it look a lot better. Hit apply and quit. Now, this one's done. Hit everything. And you know what? Let's go in here and let's go ahead and delete that background image. Let's go in here and then we're going to do another realistic visualize, stitch plan preview, and apply. I'm going to go ahead and leave needle points selected because in a finished piece, if you have too many needle points close together or in a straight line, they will become very obvious. So that's why I went ahead and kept the needle points. But this looks pretty good. Maybe possibly been done better in a fill stitch. Possibly, don't know. The fill stitch is easy. You saw that it was just going to do it by itself when I didn't delete it. So, yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, that's all for this video. If you made it this far, please like and subscribe on the YouTubes. Just like, makes us all happy. And I recently went over the 10K number, so appreciate everybody who has subbed. I guess that's it. So, as always, till next time, thanks for watching.